I wanted to talk to you all about fables and folk tales. So, since this is a multicultural children's books class, fables and folk tales play a huge part of getting to um, view other cultures in that fun lens of the stories that they've told for eons. And so I wanted to share with you some of the books that I've collected over the years. And here is just, it's not even all of them, but I've got many, many books that share lots of different fables from cultures all over the world. And since Chinese New Year is coming up, I thought I'd highlight some of the books about China. Okay. So this book, I do like to read this book, but I always talk about how this is a stereotype. This is perpetuating a stereotype of Chinese people. Chinese New Year is coming up, but we don't want to be perpetuating stereotypes. So the five Chinese brothers, you can see they've got the pigtail and the shaved top of their head. I think it's important to sometimes keep these around, but also to explain why they're not culturally sensitive. Okay, so here is an example of the five Chinese brothers. Okay, in fact, I have two copies. And here is another one of the seven Chinese brothers. This one is less stereotypical. You can see that the pictures are not as stereotypical. So it looks a little bit more realistic. So this book is a better book, and the illustrations are actually beautiful, but the story is a folk tale. So I do read that. Tiki Tiki Tembo. This is a folk tale that has been around for a very long time, and I loved it as a kid, and this book is a good example of that. So, Tiki Tiki Tembo. Trickster tales are fantastic folklore and cultural tales from all over the world. Trickster tales are in the Native American culture, they're in the Japanese culture, they're in the Chinese culture, they're in the Indian culture, Indian meaning from India. I'm sure trickster tales are from all over, even Ireland. That's what leprechauns are, tricksters. So I have this book of terrific trickster tales from Asia, and they're great. They're actually wonderful to be instead of read, but told. So storytelling, the art of the oral story rather than reading, is a great way to bring multicultural folklore into your classroom. But you have to read it over and over again. You have to really get it stuck in here so that you don't have to refer back to the book. Okay, so choose one, learn it, tell it, then later choose another, learn it, tell it. But there's great books from all over Asia. Here's books from Singapore. It even gives you tricks for storytelling. Books from China. It's called To Trick a Thief. That's a good one. Story from Thailand. Anyway, you get it. It's really fun. The Runaway Walk. This is a good one too. So I do read this when it's around Chinese New Year, which is coming up February 12th. I read this and then we eat some yummy Chinese food. C is for China. Let's learn about what China looks like nowadays. It shows history, but it also shows, people now doing Tai Chi. And it's great. It's an alphabet book. So it goes through the alphabet and shows something interesting from each letter. Chinesey for children. This is a fun way to teach them the characters that mean words. And then you can do them yourself. You can get some black paint and a paintbrush, and they can make words on their own scroll. You can make it into a scroll. But children love to do this. They really love it. I've done it before a few times, and they love it. I don't do it every single year because I have children in a 3-year cycle, and We don't want to be doing the same things all the time. First 100 words in Chinese. Hey, it's Chinese New Year. Let's learn some words. Why not, right? Ma means horse. Yang is sheep. Zhu means pig. Chinese fables. Okay, so we were talking about folk tales and fables. So here is a great book that has a bunch of fables in it. I'll just read the jacket. For thousands of years, Chinese storytellers have delighted listeners with stories about the value of virtues like honesty, respect, courage, and self-reliance. This book collects 19 of these wonderful tales, some of them dating back to the 3rd century BCE, and retells them in contemporary English for a modern audience. Each of these stories offers a nugget of ancient folk wisdom and shares aspects of Chinese culture and lore. All of the tales express the foibles and wisdom of human experience with great humor and affection. And although the lessons are universal, the wit and flavor are uniquely Chinese. Awesome, right? Yes. And then look what came from China. This is how Chinese culture has affected the rest of the world. Animals, toys, tools, food, inventions, math. Fun stuff. Okay, and then I have a bunch of other folk tales and fables from all over parts of the world. So here's from the Amazon, How Night Came. Here's from Spain, Ferdinand the Bull. I'm sure many of you have remembered reading this from when you were a kiddo. Brother Eagle, Sister Sky. This is right here from Seattle. This is about Chief Seattle. So I think that needs to be in your classroom. Anansi the Spider. Oh, this is a great one. Such a good book. It's from Africa. And I have 2 copies. This is a Navajo folktale, and it's Mai and Cousin Horned Toad. Okay. The Adventures of Spider, West African folk tales. So here's a bunch of books or stories in one text. The 12 Dancing Princesses. Now this is a folk tale actually from a European culture. However, it's become multiculturalized by having the setting be in Africa. Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters. This is a great fable. It's wonderful about how one of the daughters is vain and mean, and the other daughter is kind and wonderful, and who gets to marry the prince. So good book. Here is another book, Retold Timeless Classics, Tales of Southeast Asia. So there's stories from all over Southeast Asia. Okay. The Warrior and the Wise Man. So this is in Japan, set in Japan, and it's an old fable. The Wise Fool, fables from the Islamic world. So there are multiple fables in here. All right. So these books are, I've collected them over time. So I wouldn't expect a new teacher to have this many books, but over time, if you're just thinking about it and you're conscious of it, start building that library. All right. See you soon. Bye.